It's the Sports Kings. Sports Kings. Big Mike.
He might fall off the wagon in the next 10 minutes.
And Rob Calloway.
It's about bringing talent. It's not about all the flash and glitz and glam.
Not your average sports talk show. The Sports Kings.
This is NFL legend, Work Done.
This your boy D. Howard, a.k.a. Superman.
I'm Jerome Bettis, the bus.
It's Cam Newton. Holla at your boy, already.
This is Hank Aaron, and I'm down with the Kings.
Tell a friend, Kings is back.
Welcome back into the second hour of the Sports Kings podcast, as heard on Spreaker.com. Our Twitter address is Sports Kings Live. Our Instagram address is the same. The email is sportskingsatl@gmail.com. In the first hour, just had a general discussion, kind of based it around Jameis Winston and the way he's being covered as an NFL prospect, and the fact that, or my opinion that a lot of times in these sports stories, the authors look nothing like the characters within the story, and it plays out in the way they formulate their opinions. And I kind of wanted to, be that matching face or that matching face to the character, in this case, Jameis Winston. We also talked about Josh Gordon and A-Rod, and giving a different perspective on that. Moving on into the second hour here, got a couple things I want to mention. Like I said earlier, in the first hour, it's been a slow sports day. Nothing earth-shattering happened. We thought we had a trade between the Eagles and the Bills in which they traded running back LaShawn McCoy in order to get back linebacker Kiko Alonso, who missed all of last season with an ACL injury after having a tremendous rookie year for the Buffalo Bills. So moving right along here. The other big news today, Brian Shaw. Brian Shaw got fired after a year and let's call it 3/4 of coaching the Denver Nuggets. And he got fired. That's the way to do things in the NBA. Obviously, now you fire dudes like mid-season or beginning, right in season. They don't wait till the end of the season to fire dudes in the NBA. Especially not this year. Dudes just getting the axe right and left. But what it had me thinking of is what Brian Shaw started off as. He was this hot commodity, man. He's a Phil Jackson disciple, and he's this, and the players love him, and all that. And all those things could have been nothing further from the truth in his first NBA coaching job. This is the guy who took over a team who won 57 games the year he took them over. And they've consistently gone down in every statistic that matters from then. This team this year is 24th in offensive efficiency, 25th in defensive efficiency. This was a team that George Karl formulated, that he put together to be able to run up and down the court. Well, Brian Shaw wanted to come in and run his triangle. So it was the clash of two different systems, or basically personnel for one system and the ideology of a head coach wanting to run another system. Inevitably, he had to bow down and coach a system that he didn't feel comfortable with running. Again, he's a Phil Jackson guy. And it inevitably cost him his job. It cost him the respect of the players. These dudes are in the huddle during a game. This is some old high school stuff. I don't even know if this is high school stuff. I can't even think of any level that this would really happen at. But these dudes are in the huddle, and they break in the huddle. 1, 2, 3, 6 more weeks. What? You dudes are professionals. That should never happen. But it shows you what the lack of respect is for their head coach. They said, Brian Shaw was a very rough around the edges as far as the way he dealt with the players. So that caused him to kind of rebel against him as well. But go ahead.
I mean, look, man. Because you hear stuff about, Brian talking to upper management, telling them that the guys on the team weren't mature. You hear players coming out. David West being one player of the Indiana Pacers coming out saying that, that the team didn't have any grown-ups on it. Nobody wanted to be an adult about, being serious about the team. But then you hear about Brian Shaw saying that in an effort to get along with the team, he canceled the daily shoot-around. It's like, well, who's really running stuff here?
Yeah, it's a bad marriage, dude.
Is it the players or the coach?
Yeah, it was just a bad marriage. And the whole David West thing, like, I'm cool with you trying to stick up for your dude, but here's the deal: you knew him in a different capacity. He was an assistant coach when he was with the Pacers, so you knew him in a much different capacity. He didn't have the pressure that's on him the way it is now as a head coach. A head coach that, again, like I said, took over for Coach of the Year, that got fired after winning 57 games at a playoff appearance. Like, in the Western Conference, that's not something to sneeze at. So the pressure
right.
he was feeling, he felt in Denver was tenfold to what there was in Indiana. I mean, that's Frank Vogel's team. He ain't going nowhere no time soon, I don't think. You know, if anything, the Paul George injury bought him some time. What about to say? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, because I was about to switch gears.
I was about to say, you know, just reading everything that I read about that situation today, it just, in my mind, it just kept making me think, like, I wonder if he would have been more successful had he taken over that Lakers team that, you know, that he was supposed to have been the heir apparent to Phil Jackson. And that never materialized because, of course, you know, the kids took over the team, son, you know, in charge of basketball or whatnot. So it didn't happen. But I just kind of wonder if he had been, you know, if he had stayed there and continued to run the triangle, you know, would things have been different for the Lakers? Because we've seen they've gone through quite a few coaches themselves, you know, since Phil Jackson and his staff, you know, were showing the door.
Let me ask you something. The last couple times that you've seen the triangle, outside of this, don't include this year. What the last couple times that you saw the triangle offense, what else did you see? Because I saw Hall of Famers. I saw a bunch of Hall of Famers on the floor running Tex Winter's offense. I saw Michael Jordan. I saw Scottie Pippen. I saw Shaquille O'Neal. I saw Kobe Bryant. So this whole notion of the triangle offense, it sounds great. It sounds like a thing, but at the end of the day, talent. I'm always talking about this. If you out there continue to listen to this podcast, you'll hear me say this all the time. Talent wins out. This is America, and talent wins out, regardless of what anybody says. Regardless if you think it's fair or not, talent is going to win out 90% of the time. So you bring up a point that I wanted to get to, you know, because Kobe was really adamant at the fact that he wanted the next head coach to be Byron Scott. And the point I want to make is, if you're a player on a team, just play. Don't worry about playing front office, dude. Play ball. Because the way it's looking now, like, Kobe don't know what the hell he's talking about. Like, maybe you like Byron Scott. Not the guy I'm talking about. He's the guy that took the terrible job. Maybe you like Brian Shaw, but liking him ain't enough to make him a good coach. And moving on from him, let's talk about the king, LeBron James. Like, if anybody's paying attention, this kid Andrew Wiggins is going off. He's crushing it in Minnesota. And I remember one of the last shows I did before CBS fired me. I talked to my guy Branson Wright up in Cleveland with the Cleveland Plain Dealer. He covers the Browns now, but he used to cover the Cavaliers. And we were talking about this whole Kevin Love trade for Andrew Wiggins. And he was talking about a lot of people would have rather kept Andrew Wiggins because of what he brings to the table. He's not a guy who needs the ball. He's a young, athletic, a guy who can play defense and just fill lanes and get you out in transition. Kevin Love is not that dude. And then we end up seeing that come to fruition to the point that LeBron is like sending these dudes these ominous tweets like, don't try to fit in or quit trying to fit out and fit in. Then you lie and say it wasn't meant for Kevin Love, and then you come back and tell the truth and say, all right, yeah, you got me.
Yeah,
it was meant for him.
It was,
like,
right.
Come on, man. You see this dude at practice every day. Why you can't just talk to this man? Like, don't do that, my man. Like, this is your coworker. You see him every day at practice. Go put a bug in his ear. And not that. That's a stupid message anyway. Quit trying to fit out and fit in. Would you ever tell your daughter that? Whatever you face in life, baby, just always fit in. No. That's how people get hooked on drugs. Trying to fit in. No. Make up your own damn mind. That's what you tell her. What the heck? Like LeBron, like me and him, we have this like, this kind of like, again, I talked about it yesterday, right? Like, just play basketball. Like, I don't care about any of this other stuff, this King James foolishness. By the way, James Harden picked up a 1-game suspension for kicking LeBron in the ding-ding, which people must have different eyes than I have. Like, what is a shove with your foot, Rob? What is that?
So what now? What is your what with your foot?
What is a shove? Like, people keep saying it wasn't a kick, it was a shove.
There's no such thing.
Yeah, because to me, you shove somebody in their chest with your hands.
You shove with your hands. You kick with your feet.
Right.
There's no such thing as shoving with your feet.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. This whole ESPN thing, like, they don't never get me. Not because I'm smarter, just because I realize what the hell is happening. Well, it wasn't that big a deal. It was more of a shove. What the hell? I don't even understand what a shove is with your foot. He kicked him. He kicked him in the balls. Or tried to, at least. I don't know if he made contact, but he tried to, at least. Anyway, picked up a 1-game suspension. Back to LeBron. He went in there talking about he needed to have Kevin Love. And a lot of basketball people felt like the kid Andrew Wiggins would have been a better fit with him and Kyrie because he don't need touches. Like, he's getting them now because he's in Minnesota and there's nothing else there. Him and Rubio and, Kevin Garnett's back now, but, like, he's just like the grandpa. He's like a mascot, basically. He's not a basketball player anymore. Yeah, he's the Minnesota mascot, basically. A guy who's going to scream a lot, and like I guess he got into it with Doc Rivers' son yesterday or whatever. It's like, no one believes you, dude. You need more people. We know you know this dude. That was your coach. When he was a kid, he was probably at shoot-arounds and practice and all that kind of stuff. Like, don't fool nobody in the feeling like, you getting tough on Austin Rivers. Nah, do that jump to DeAndre, cuz. Like, run up on DeAndre that way. Probably ain't going to happen.
Well, I've never seen KG just back down from anybody. So
he's a barker. When's the last time you seen him get into it with somebody? He's a barker.
Last year.
Yeah. I mean, he's gonna woof at you, but really, when's the last time he's ever gotten to it with anybody? Like, really, really gotten to it?
KG got into a fight last season and got suspended.
With who?
I don't know who he got into a fight with, but I don't know if he got suspended.
What are you calling a fight? It's like this thing that happened last night with Whiteside and the other kid. Like, when they didn't really know what to do with each other, so they just kind of grabbed each other and, like, please somebody come pull us off each other. Like, one of those deals. Yeah. Like, it wasn't no Ron Artest. Like, you want to talk about a fight?
You know that a fight in the NBA, like, okay, you're not going to get the malice at the palace. Fights in the NBA not real fights. I've seen better fights at the roller derby, but you know what I mean. That's
what I'm saying. And the fact that you could pick out one in a 20-year career, I was like, yeah, that's pretty telling. Yeah, KG's gonna bark at you and he's gonna mean mug dudes, but yeah, he don't want no problems. That dude don't want no damn problems with nobody for real. He's still, like, as much weight as he's put on, he's still skin and bones. Still, from the time he stepped in '96 to now, he's probably 15 pounds heavier.
Was it that this year where he and Dwight Howard got into it? That was this year, right?
Yeah, they were talking. He called him soft or something like that. Yeah, he was talking to.
But KG headbutted him or something, got suspended. That was this year.
Look at that. Look at Neek. Look at Neek calling this Hawks game. Him and Bob. I don't even have to hear Neek to know he's not saying a damn thing. He ain't saying nothing. He's waiting for Bob to say something so he can just repeat it and then say, back to you, Bob. Thanks, Bob. Heat check, Bob. That's a heat check right there.
Look, second podcast, the second official Sports Kings podcast on Twitter, on Spreaker.com, and you are killing Dominique for the second night in a row.
What do you mean killing Dominique? I'm not killing Dominique. It's not my fault.